You can transform your life by understanding the link between discipline as self-love. And I'm a licensed therapist, and I'm going to be discussing discipline as an act of self-love today. But first, I want to introduce you to my wife. Here she is. She gets up every morning between 5:45 and 6:15 a.m. and runs at least 4 miles with our dog, Mia. And lately, she's been running 5 or 6 miles because she is preparing for a marathon. And she is 56 years old. And together we have 4 kids. So our lives, it's not exactly a walk in the park, if you know what I mean. And she's done this routine every single day that I've known her. No lie. So one morning, a few months ago, when she was getting ready to go for her run, I stopped her and I said, "Do you ever feel like not going for a run?" And she just paused and thought about it, and she looked at me and she said, "I don't really think about how I feel. I just do it because I know it makes me feel good about myself and it's helpful for me." So this is called discipline, and this video is about how discipline is a form of self-love. And I'm going to show you 3 ways that discipline is self-love, so you can lead yourself and learn how to love yourself better. So my partner does this routine 7 days a week. And I really admire this about her. Her discipline is outstanding. But she knows that her self-care today is investing in her future health. And that is an act of self-love. So this is something that I know a lot of women struggle with. A lot of women have learned to put other people before themselves, to be self-sacrificing. And this is a way that we neglect ourselves. Then we lose respect for ourselves. Then we feel resentful and stop loving ourselves, right? Can you relate? I know I can. So reframing discipline as an act of self-love is a powerful shift in perspective that can transform how we view personal growth and self-care. So here are 3 ways to view discipline through the lens of self-love. I want to tell you how this works so you can get started with this today. Number 1 is delaying short-term gratification for long-term benefits. So let me explain this. So discipline often involves choosing what is more beneficial in the long run over what's immediately gratifying. So this choice can be seen as an act of self-love, because you're prioritizing long-term benefits. So let me give you an example. Having the discipline to skip that $6 or $7 pinky dinky frappa latte at Starbucks and saving that money and investing it in your future is not about deprivation. It's about loving yourself enough to prepare for your future. So when I skip the Starbucks and decide to make my coffee at home instead, I'm not depriving myself. I'm loving myself by investing in my future self. And also, by the way, drinking 3 lattes at Starbucks at $6 or $7 each ends up being about $950 a year, which if you invested that in an IRA, that will be $68,000 in 30 years. And that's an investment in your future and your family. My name is Catherine Sloan. I've been a licensed therapist for over 20 years. I'm just here to make mental health more accessible to everyone around the world. So if you're getting something from my content, please hit subscribe. Thank you. Number 2 is self-respect and personal standards. So discipline reflects a commitment to your personal standards and your values. And this can mean something as simple as making sure you shower every day, shave, put on clean clothes. Research shows us that we'll have more confidence in ourselves and self-respect when we dress in nice clothes that we feel good about. So invest some time in your appearance each day. Unless it's the weekend and you want to sit around in your PJs because you've worked hard all week, that's a different story. But this is how you demonstrate respect for yourself and gradually start to love yourself if you don't already. So this kind of self-respect is a fundamental aspect of self-love. And you can take control of your life, or it's going to control you. If you want to change how you feel about yourself, then change your behavior. I remember about 7 years ago, it was about 6 or 7 months after my divorce. That was a horrific year for me. My marriage of 15 years had ended, and I had to move 4 times in 1 year. I was at an incredibly low point in my life. I was feeling suicidal. I remember telling one of my closest friends how depressed I was one day. I was just in bed, self-loathing, and she just gave it to me straight, like a freaking drill sergeant. She said, "Katie, right now you're gonna get out of bed, open the curtains, take a shower, and get dressed." And that's exactly what I needed to hear in that moment. And that's what I did. I needed to get out of my head and into my life and take some small steps forward. And that's what a lot of you need to do. You need to get out of your bed, open the curtains, get in the shower, put on some clean clothes, and just walk outside. If that's the first step, then just do that. Number 3 is health and self-care. Acts of discipline like regular exercise, eating healthy, and adequate sleep are direct forms of self-care which help us to love ourselves. And doing these things for yourself shows a commitment to maintaining your physical, mental, and emotional health, which is a profound expression of self-love. Have you heard the phrase, "Sitting is the new smoking"? Being lethargic is killing us. If you are sitting all day, not getting enough sleep, and eating fast foods or lots of preservatives, just expect to feel depressed and anxious and to not like yourself. I don't know how else to say it except just to be blunt. We know 100% that diet and exercise and sleep are directly related to mental health. If everybody would just start exercising, even just 3 times a week, get 8 hours of sleep if you can, if you don't have insomnia, and you don't even have to run 5 or 6 miles a day like my wife does. I don't do that. You can just start with stretching. Just grab a 5-pound weight and lift it 10 times. Eat more plant-based and whole foods. If everybody would start to do these 3 or 4 things, I wouldn't have a job anymore as a therapist. These are small acts of self-love. So please just start showing up for yourself. Nobody's coming to save you. You're the adult now. So by viewing discipline in these ways, it becomes less about restriction and more about nurturing, caring for, and honoring yourself. This perspective makes us more likely to follow through with acts of self-care. Make it enjoyable and align it with the values and things that are meaningful for you. This is a loving approach to personal growth and well-being. It's time to get started and just stretch yourself a little bit each day. It's about making progress. Then take notice and just be proud of yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.